The world of Pokemon is a bizarre place. It's a series where the pine cones spontaneously combust, the alphabet is actively hostile, and yet somehow the places you visit might just be even stranger. You see, in Pokemon, there exists locations that can't so easily be defined. Areas that permeate a type of unease, not found anywhere else.
Now, in the real world, this phenomenon is typically referred to as carbon monoxide poisoning. However,
in the age of the internet, these are referred to as liminal spaces.
So today I'd like to delve deeper into Pokemon's most off-base sites.
Those uncanny places in between Pokemon's liminal spaces.
And if you could also leave a like and subscribe, that would be fantastically appreciated.
Thank you.
Now, beginning our descent into the bizarre, I felt compelled to highlight perhaps Pokemon's most out-of-place location, a singular religious structure located on the outskirts of Heartholm City, conspicuously titled Foreign Building. This cathedral acts as perhaps one of the starkest examples of tonal whiplash I've ever personally witnessed. This place does not feel right. See, the Foreign Building acts as Pokemon's lone reference to organized religion, decorated with traditional stained glass windows, rows of pews, and a congregation presiding in it. A group of NPCs espousing spiritual ideals about balance. An aesthetic direction I feel I can only describe with one sentence. That sentence being, what the fuck? I don't like this. Why does this building feel like literally nothing else in the entire series? Contrast is the name of the game here. The Foreign Building is almost painfully different to everything else in the series, notably being one of a handful of Pokemon locations to feature no music at all. It's completely silent. However, instead of this coming across as respectful, as Bulbapedia puts it, it more gives me the feeling of walking into a room of people that just 1 second ago were discussing how cool it would be to murder me. The silence here is jarring, especially when you enter the building listening to the exceedingly upbeat Heartholm City theme and just go to this.
Further giving me the digital heebie-jeebies is the fact that the NPCs in this building speak in sentences and subject matters that frankly don't show up anywhere else in this series. Here's a few examples.
We cannot read the minds of others, which causes us to feel fear and doubt. But to control the aspects of the world is an impossibility. Mind and matter. It's no good if one is stronger than the other. Balance is what's needed. That's the key. Ultimately, what makes the Foreign Building such a fascinating area is that it was designed to be a place of peace, respect, and reflection. But Pokemon is a series where rocks with arms throw rocks at larger rocks with mustaches made of rock, which is to say, fairly unserious.
Which is ultimately what makes the Foreign Building such an uncanny contrast. An area so tonally stark it transcends feeling strange and just goes to unwelcoming. Can't say that about any other place in the series, can you?
Deep in the center of the Unova region lays an island, one not subject to the same dimensional rules as the space around it. Now, I'd wager to say that only a razor-thin minority of Pokemon players even know what the Entralink is, much less have visited it. The player gains access to the Entralink when given the C-Gear, another Generation 5 exclusive item, requiring a PhD's worth of text explaining just how it functions. From here, you'll teleport to this now lonely, forgotten field, hosting what looks to be some sort of strange tree in the center. Going north, you'll access the Entry Forest, an area that some 15 years ago allowed players to access the Dream World, an online exclusive service allowing for the player to receive rare items, complete quests, and receive Pokemon with their Dream World abilities. What we now know nowadays as hidden abilities, or why the fuck did we give Incinerate or Intimidate? The Entry Forest nowadays is just several rooms of dead silence, locked away in a small corner from the rest of the world, unable to perform its sole purpose. Moving down to the left and right of the main hub are bridges that allow you to perform Entralink missions. Here you'll enter another world that could only be described as some sort of monochrome dreamscape, running around completing missions in the world of your hypothetical friend.
I say hypothetical because everything here is a strange and lonely reflection of a bygone age. It instills similar emotions to abandoned shopping malls or classrooms.
Places of former glory, unable to exist with the universe around them. The Entralink is stuck in time, which feels even more impactful given how few people even visited it in the first place. I'm sure that years ago this place would have had visitors coming back and forth, people connecting to the dream world and friends at school going on each other's Entralink missions, but now it's mostly an empty landscape. Perhaps it's why the Entralink feels so unnatural nowadays. It almost feels like trespassing on a property long abandoned.
Years have gone by and multiple generations of Pokemon Online features have come and gone, but the Entralink remains standing. Perhaps it wishes it didn't. That could also be due to the fact that I didn't have anyone to play with in school because I was once caught eating ants off the pavement. Opinions remain mixed. And now it's time for some liminal highlights.
The Mirage spots are small islands exclusive to Generation 3's underrated remakes and their roaming sky mechanic, allowing for the discovery of small disappearing dungeons teeming with rare Pokemon, legendaries, and f***ing grass. Grass can be liminal, right? I don't know. Once again, however, it's the sense of loneliness and finality that give the Mirage spots such odd aura. Like a mirage, you encounter these spaces and just as soon they're gone, as Mirage spots disappear for a while after you exit them. These areas feel like glitches in reality, small gaps where via some occurrence you've somehow managed to slip through the cracks of space. These are areas so familiar that you swear you've seen them somewhere around the Hoenn region, but you haven't. They're impermanent impersonations of the world you've gotten used to traveling. A physical plane of mimicry. A mirage. Cool grass.
And speaking of grass, this is my second video on Pokemon Liminal Spaces, and I've spent damn near 20 minutes yapping about these areas so far, so why haven't I spoken about the Distortion World yet? Well, about that.
So yes, the Distortion World. Perhaps Pokemon's most famously odd location. Anti-gravity, strange gradient background, upside down waterfall, the vines. It's got all the trappings of a classic bizarre space. So why don't I consider it liminal? Well, because it's bizarre and distorted. Precisely because it's meant to be. See, everything that makes the Distortion World so special is very much in your face. Nothing is implicit here. There's no bizarre undertones that add new layers of context. It doesn't feel any different now thanks to the passing of time. It's weird because, well, it's supposed to be weird. Giratina is being a hoe, and that's making the platforms wacky. It's really not that serious.
Also, if you take that segment as me knocking the Distortion World or calling it lame or cringe, you're uncritical to a fault and probably eat rocks for breakfast with milk and a f***ing fork. It may be one of Pokemon's most cool areas, but liminal, well, I'd like to attach that label to something else.
This is also the reason I'm not attaching the Guzzlord Hau'oli City event. Cool and creepy, but very straightforward in its intentions.
Speaking of which,
the Ultra Desert. Located trillions of miles from Earth, a brilliant shining desert, punctuated by flowing sand, jagged blue diamonds, and this concerningly erotic cockroach.
I'm about to bust.
A location that's meant to impress feelings of some sort of dangerous beauty, a type of gorgeous that could puncture your heart, all the while soundtracked by this odd piece of sour, music box-esque backing. You could almost feel calm or entranced listening to this, if it didn't feel so sinister. Every single element here is meant to be alluring, while also being drenched in a deeply threatening aura.
It's like being shown a procession, all the while having a knife held to your back. Can't say I've seen that anywhere else in the series. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Not sure when the next video is going to be out. Could be a while, could be soon. I'm moving countries in a couple of weeks, so yeah, that'll do it. Also, apologies, this video was supposed to be out last week, but Deltarune came... What the fuck? Deltarune came out last week, so I was busy not doing this.